Let's go.
So it was really interesting. I was reading this 1992 interview with Meredith Baxter about the original Betty Broderick movies, and she kind of changed her opinion about Betty in between making those. And like the last quote of the article was, "We've got to ignore her." And so I was wondering, why do you think this is a good time to kind of revisit this story, and also what makes it so compelling that it's like worth revisiting?
I think Alexandra felt like it was worth retelling to try to explore the mental illness aspect of the story, and to explore the story without vilifying Dan Broderick, but also she wanted to bring to light and bring to the forefront, I think, some of the sexism of the milieu in which Betty grew up. But I think the real truth is Alexandra just wanted to try to show the story more intimately.
And then it's interesting that because my next question, you brought up not vilifying Dan Broderick. I was going to ask Christian and you, is there room in this show to have sympathy for Dan Broderick?
I think so. I mean, to a certain degree, there is an element of understanding, where this guy was coming from. Not that it's really justifiable. I mean, so much of it was driven by ego, and he built up this wall between the two of them that he felt was impenetrable, and she did everything she could to try and show that no matter what the cost, no matter what it took, she was going to break through that wall of his incredible ego and control. That is obviously something very impossible to cope with and deal with.
You were both so great in these roles, and it was amazing to watch. This was definitely more theatrical, I think, in feeling.
Well, I think that's the great thing about, well, first of all, like she was saying, Alexandra Cunningham is a wonderful writer, and I think she really wanted to delve into the depths of these characters. These people became such tabloid fodder that you could get lost on the surface of who they are, but I think she was really much more interested in capturing who these two human beings were, and how it could end up in the tragic ending that it did end up in.
You've played some iconic roles. Everyone who I told I was interviewing you today were like, well, ask him about Pump Up the Volume, ask him about how there's all these things. Where does Dan Broderick, the role of Dan Broderick, rank for you?
Well, I don't know where it ranks, but I could talk about the difficulty to a certain degree. I'd never had the experience before of the crew saying, God, we really love you when the camera's not rolling, but when the camera starts rolling, we absolutely hate you. So that was a different experience, having to explain to them, like, look, guys, remember, it's not me.
No, I guess not. That was just the crew. Like, once it airs, you're probably gonna have the same reaction from fans.
Look, that's the great thing about what it is, I think, that Amanda and I get to do, is we get to step into the shoes of other people and, to a certain degree, absorb them for a little bit, and then we get to put them aside and move on to something new.
What was the biggest challenge, Amanda, for you in playing Betty?
I think probably just relinquishing judgment and, just sort of knowing how tabloidy the story was, and the fact that she is a murderer. And murdered the father of her children and an innocent woman. It was the hardest part was doing the scenes where she was cruel and behaved in a sadistic way or an abusive way towards her children or towards Dan.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Sorry for rambling.